They say they do actually have a system that's been in place, but it's a random testing system. Obviously, it doesn't work. They're going to work on change. They're going to go from a random testing system to a testing of every batch of toys produced, and they're also going to set up safety checks at suppliers and subcontractors. I think that's something that many of us assumed they already had.
Absolutely, and that's what should be done. It seems as though a lot of these manufacturers might have been turning a blind eye to their subcontractors in China and not making sure that they were complying with the federal regulations. And there's no excuse for that.
In China, it's an interesting reaction. The Chinese Minister for Trade says media is blowing it out of proportion. We're exaggerating the problem. 80% of toys are made in China. Only a few have come out unsafe. Is that a true statement?
Well, you know, one unsafe toy is too many unsafe toys, if you ask me. Right, when we assume that these are safe toys, they should be safe toys. The good news in this is that most doctors, most healthcare professionals who have looked at this have said that the risk is relatively low. Unless you have a child who is sucking on these products for a prolonged period, the risk is probably low, but it's still enough that you should be concerned about. And I believe the latest recommendation was that if you have a recalled product in your possession for more than a month, you probably should have your child tested.
All right, we'll talk about the testing, what parents can do, and what they should look for when they're buying toys. When we return, we got to take a break right now. We'll be right back after this.
It's all about you with WYOU Interactive.
And we're back for another interactive conversation on that massive Mattel toy recall. You can join the conversation by giving us a call or by sending us an email. What can parents do when they're shopping for toys to make sure they're safe? First of all, let's start there, and then let's follow it up with if you suspect your child has had one of these toys, especially with the lead paint, and has had lead exposure, what can you do?
Well, when shopping, again, you can't assume that these are safe products. You really should look at the manufacturer's recommendations for age-appropriate toys. You should make sure that if you have a child who's under 3 that you're looking for choking hazards. Magnets have been a huge part of these recalls lately.
I believe.
Polly Pockets, the Mega brands also have had some magnetic problems. And what they do is when children ingest them, if they ingest more than one, they can lead to intestinal perforations or obstruction. So you should be very careful with magnets if your child has a tendency to put anything in his or her mouth. In terms of if you believe you have a recalled product, I don't believe looking at recalls is the answer. You certainly should do that. You should look at the Consumer Product Safety Commission website, make sure that you're on top of recalls, but that's not going to tell you that your products are safe. You should also keep an eye out for the consumer watchdog groups, such as PenPerg. That's an organization that tests toys even before they're declared unsafe, and they give consumers, parents, an idea of what toys they don't believe.
The Public Interest Research Group.
That's exactly right. And there's a PenPerg, which we have at HKQ Kids partnered with, and they have done a Trouble in Toyland report. We didn't do it last year, we did it the year before. We're hopeful of doing it again this year, which will alert parents that could potentially cause problems.
What's a quick way to check if there's a part of the toy that a child may swallow, may cause problems?
They actually have choke tubes that you can purchase, and if the toy will fit within the tube, then it's not safe for a child under 3 years old. If you can't purchase a choke tube, or if you don't have access to one, what you should do is get a paper towel, and the insert in the paper towel, that'll work just as well, and try to insert the toy. If it goes into the tube, it's probably not something you want a child who is subjected to a choking hazard to have.